Back again with the second episode. Welcome to Series 4 of Hexbots, Hexbug, Battlebots, Heat B. Last time it was Fabulous Jeff and the rookie Swedish Guard going to the tournament, and the reigning champion Gorilla going to the third place Desperado tournament. How unfortunate. But next, in our next lineup of robots, it will definitely be a real knocker. Maybe it could be better than the last, but we'll see. But without further ado, let's get on to the robots. First, from San Diego, California, Aquatic Disaster. Champions at the first New Blood tournament and reigning champion of both Hexbots Hunter series comes Aquatic Disaster. He doesn't have a self-rider, but is a well-balanced robot. From Ankara, Turkey, Scorcher. Scorcher comes into the mix, very heavily modified with an actual working hammer saw. Yeah, the hammer saw actually works, people. However, big weakness, the battery shuts down midway. From Antioch, Illinois, Rusty. Our lord and savior of all of Hexbug kind, Rusty has come back into the mix with its hammer. Well, he's a god, however, the big thing, he doesn't have any ground game. It's 2026, dang it. From Somerville, Massachusetts, Maximus. The sibling robot of Brutus. Maximus comes back into the ring with its vertical disc spinner. But again, it doesn't have any ground game. Like, what's going on here? And from Elgin Air Force Base, Florida, Afterburner. Last up is the powerhouse of the recent New Blood tournament in Afterburner. He absolutely decimated Gargoyle in its first fight, but also lost in some other fight. But hopefully that should change in this heat. Well, I already know this heat is going to look extremely promising, hopefully, than the last heat. To start things off, in the blue square is Aquatic Disaster, and in the red square is Scorcher. Aquatic Disaster was the finalist in a couple events, and is the champion of the first New Blood tournament, coming from Ultimate Robotics. And Scorcher is finally back from Turkey with a brand new hammer saw. Hopefully should be a lot more effective than the previous seasons. But I'm kind of spoiling you. Let's get on with the fight. 3, 2, 1, activate. Let the bot battle begin. This is a rematch from Hexbots Hunters 2. Aquatic Disaster took the win, and Scorcher lost. Scorcher loses a fork to start the fight, but is getting in some good hammer saw shots with that hammer saw. And it's doing some nice effective work on Aquatic Disaster. And now carrying the boat to the shelf. Or no, the screws! Aquatic Disaster is going up the screws, but he manages to avoid them. Good control there from Aquatic Disaster to get off at the shelf. It does a nice hit onto Scorcher, who's now trying to put Scorcher into the screws, but goes up to the screws themselves. Are they gonna get... Oh, they're out of the arena! Aquatic Disaster out of the arena, and Scorcher... Oh, I guess they're gonna win. If I had a nickel every time a champion was defeated, I wouldn't really have any nickels because Gorilla at least won his first fight. Well, Aquatic Disaster immediately loses the first fight. Those screws are really coming in handy. And I guess Scorcher, has finally decided to wake up this season. Much like Fabulous Jeff. Anyways, next up in the blue square is Rusty, and the red square is Maximus, the rookie from last season. He did rather mediocre, and Rusty, well, he was actually a former bounty hunter champion. However, he lost at the end to Scorcher, so yeah. Well, in any cases, let's get into this fight. 3, 2, 1, activate. Let the bot battle begin. Rusty firing out the hammer and Maximus up to speed. Rusty pushes back Maximus to the corner and loses his dome. Oh, that's not good. But he's continuing to push around Maximus, and I think that weapon has stalled again on Maximus. I thought they would improve it this season, but they get underneath of Rusty. And that was a good tactic there by Maximus as Rusty goes onto the screws, but he gets free. Maximus doing a little turn right now, and Rusty ramming into the front and being hoisted up by Maximus, but he gets free. And Maximus's weapon is also been turned down. Never mind, it's back up to speed, but really, really slow. And Rusty continues to fire hammer shots and loses that back piece. on him. Rusty continuing to do well so far. Is Maximus doing damage? I'm guessing from this, yes he is. But is Rusty doing damage? Well, the only thing it's done so far is just chip the paint and stall Maximus's weapon. But that will look good for the judges if it goes to a judge's decision. Maximus trying to gain some control points. However, neither of them have any ground clearance. So how can they win in control? I don't know. Rusty could probably just push around Maximus as it loses a side guard. And I guess Maximus could just haul Rusty after he's activated its weapon. Anyways, Maximus doing a little tango and Rusty following suit and completely misses Maximus. But that's a good shot there onto the side of Maximus as Maximus is trying to get their weapon up to speed. Oh, there it is. The weapon's back up. I'm gonna guess it's probably gonna break after the next. Yeah, it's dead. Cool. Rusty continues to lay down hammer shots onto Maximus, and now being stuck on the arena goes Rusty, but they're free. Maximus being pushed back into the corner by Rusty, where his dome resides, and that spinner is back up to speed, and Rusty completely missing Maximus again. That was a good dodge by Maximus, who's now trying to remove the track on that one side. Those tracks are vulnerable. However, he's being hoisted up by the screws and Rusty. However, Maximus gets back down, and Rusty trying to capitalize with some nice axe shots, but it doesn't really look like it. Although being hoisted up onto the arena sidewall by Maximus, can they get free? Yes, they can. And push back Maximus into the sidewall as we're going to time. This is a pretty good back and forth fight, I must say. Ladies and gentlemen, we have entered a judge's decision. They awarded it unanimously to the winner, Maximus. Wow, everything is going into plan so far. Scorcher will I guess, come back into the ring to face Afterburner. They had a pretty destructive run in the New Blood tournament, however, losing to Swedish Guard. However, managing to pull off a destructive win against Gargoyle in that fight. So hopefully they could probably pull off something here against Scorcher. Or maybe Scorcher will do the same thing twice as he did against Aquatic Disaster. 3, 2, 1, activate. Let the bot battle begin. 2 weapons up to speed. I feel like Scorcher has already faced this robot before. I'm kidding. Afterburner getting hooked onto the front of Scorcher, and that fork is bent on Scorcher, and the whole side is starting to come off of Scorcher. Afterburner, that weapon is really powerful as it gets a good shot onto the saw itself and removes a fork, although it's getting stuck on the screws, and I think Afterburner is stuck. And Scorcher laying down some extra hits to make sure Afterburner is done, and yes, Scorcher is gonna win the fight. What a win for Scorcher. Well, I guess this season's finally given the A-OK to Scorcher, as now they lead away with 6 points, leaving everybody in his dust. Afterburner sits comfortably with 0 points, with Aquatic Disaster. Speaking of which, he comes into the fight as he faces Rusty, who currently has 1 point after a judge's decision loss to Maximus. I feel like they faced each other, but I can't really remember. But let's go. 3, 2, 1, activate. Let the bot battle begin. Rusty currently with 1 point, and Aquatic Disaster with none. This is not a good start for Aquatic Disaster. At least Rusty has something other than just losses under his belt. Anyways, Aquatic Disaster gets up to speed, does a nice hit to the front of Rusty, and removes the side guard. That's a good start by Aquatic Disaster. However, are the screws going to get him in this? It all comes down to the pushing power because of how they both have tank treads. And the dome goes flying off of Rusty. But Rusty continues to try and hammer down Aquatic Disaster. It's going to come down to who has the stronger pushing power. I might say Aquatic Disaster.
But who knows? We'll see which way the wind blows, I always like to say. Aquatic Disaster gets back up to speed and tries to take off the other side panel of Rusty, and Rusty gets stuck on it. That's brilliant. And Rusty with another axe hit onto the spinner of Aquatic Disaster as they go on the screws again. What is it? As they're being hoisted. Oh, what an escape by Aquatic Disaster. And there goes the top panel on Rusty. Aquatic Disaster gets back up to speed. That was a brilliant escape route by Aquatic Disaster, escaping the screws as it almost claims another victim. As Rusty tries to lay down some more hammer shots onto Aquatic Disaster, and there goes that other side panel. So Aquatic Disaster is currently winning on damage. Maybe on aggression, but I don't think control because there, Aquatic Disaster gets stuck on the screws, and Rusty has them stuck! Is Aquatic Disaster gonna go out? Is he? Yes, he is! Rusty takes the win! Wow!
Man, Aquatic Disaster is not having a good season this year. Aquatic Disaster was like the top dogs in the past with Hexbots, and now I think with just the screws, everybody just takes advantage of it and gets an AD out of the arena. Well, they're going to have some modifications with their weapon being done, as next we have Maximus in the red square and in the blue square, Afterburner. Afterburner with 0 points, and Maximus with 2 points on the leaderboard. So let's see who can get some. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Let the bot battle begin. Both weapons up to speed. Afterburner and Maximus, a nice hit to start off the fight, but the two still remain. Maximus with a little nice jab along with Afterburner as another nice hit, and the weapon has stalled again on Maximus, although it's back up to speed now. But slowly stalling is that weapon on Maximus, and a nice hit by Afterburner. That weapon is really terrifying on them as they chuck Maximus into the screws. But Maximus get free. That was a good control there by Maximus, getting back in the arena and not out of it. A nice hit again by Afterburner and again onto the wheel of Maximus. But can Maximus do something? Afterburner goes up the screws, but is free again. Can Maximus pull off something? I don't know. My money is on Afterburner right now. I say that as he smashes his weapon into the screws. It's freaking brilliant, you guys. Although, I'll give them credit where credit is due. They are rookies. They're still trying to get used to the arena because they were used to the older arena. Maximus is back up to speed, but is now being hoisted by the screws. Is he? I think we're gonna have to get an on-stick here. Hey, and can you help us? Thank you. Anyways, Maximus and Afterburner are free, but Afterburner is stuck again. Well, I guess that's gonna do. Maximus gets 3 points on the leaderboard. Another loss for Afterburner.
Well, all's well that ends well so far for both Afterburner and Aquatic Disaster. I guess maybe that's not really the main event everybody's been looking forward to. Well, anyways, next up we've got Scorcher in the blue and Rusty in the red. So far, Rusty is in third place with 4 points, and Scorcher at the top with 6 points. Can he maybe add another 3 onto the list, or Rusty make a comeback? 3, 2, 1, act.
Let the bot rematch begin. The rematch between the two underdogs of Hexbots Hunters 2. Scorcher being chucked up by Rusty as Rusty loses the dome. Well, now he's going to get a splitting headache as Scorcher tries to get away from that corner. It looks like his saw is a bit loose right now. I don't know what's going on with that. Rusty loses a side guard because of course he does. It's Rusty! We all love him, right? Right. Scorcher laying down some nice hammer saw hits with the saw blade. We're now actually happy that the spinner actually decides to work like permafrost sob or like toffee from the other robot channels as Scorcher gets back up to speed and Rusty waiting for an axe hit. And there we go. That's a nice hit, hoisting the both of them. Well, is either one doing damage? I'm assuming Scorcher is, because that saw is actually working. And has actually done damage in testing. And there goes a side guard again off of Rusty. As now Rusty is on the screws. Is he going to get free? Yes, he is. Scorcher maybe shouldn't have done that. Haven't gotten Rusty out of the arena with the screws. And that back piece goes off again. Why? Because it does. It's Rusty. What do you think? Scorcher with another hit onto the front of Rusty. Onto that weapon arm, though. That's a good aggression and damage by Scorcher. Although the damage has already been dealt. And I think a track has been dislodged off of Rusty. So, it feels like history is repeating itself again. However, Scorcher won by a knockout. Is it going to go to a knockout this time? I don't know. It all depends if Rusty doesn't lose that other track, because that's how it lost in that Hexbots Hunters 2 fight. Was that both tracks were loose, and Scorcher took the win by a knockout. Although Scorcher is trying to make it a knockout, as he's trying to get Rusty out of the arena. Is it working? No, it isn't. Rusty gets back in, and Scorcher and Rusty bear hugging right now. That's sweet. Nice of them to get back in the arena to see each other again. Good old rivals from the United States and Turkey. Scorcher is being picked up by the screws, but he gets free as he's stuck on that side panel of Rusty. Can he get free? I don't know. Rusty is just only going in circles, and Scorcher is free. Well, Scorcher's not really doing anything, not really engaging with his opponent right now. Then it gets back in and lands another jab to the top of Rusty. However, we are going to go to time right now between this epic rematch of Scorcher and Rusty.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have entered another judge's decision. They awarded it unanimously to the winner, Scorcher. Scorcher's now on a roll this season. Now he has 8 points so far on the leaderboard and is looking to be the top dog going into the tournament. But now he just has one more fight left over. So hopefully can he keep it within him? Well, let's find out. As our next fight, we have Maximus in the red and Aquatic Disaster in the blue with a brand new spinner. Less detailed than the previous one, but hopefully should pack even bigger of a punch than the other one. Well, let's find out. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Let the battle begin. Maximus, I guess their weapon isn't working. After Aquatic Disaster, dang it, Aquatic Disaster, I've decided to go with a new weapon this time. That's pretty cool. Less decorative, more power, they say. I'll see it when I believe it. Aquatic Disaster continues to land some good hits onto the front of Maximus because they don't have ground game. It's 2026 already. Get ground game, dang it. Anyways, Aquatic Disaster continues to go up to speed and tries to aim for the exposed wheels on Maximus. Aquatic Disaster with no points so far, and Maximus with 5. How that's possible, you may be asking? I don't know, rewatch the fights. Or I guess just go back, because I guess you can't remember anything from like 11-ish minutes ago in this beautiful heat right now. Anyways, Aquatic Disaster goes after Maximus as he was just being hit by the pulverizer. Oh! Aquatic Disaster almost goes on the screws, but decides it's not time yet. Maximus goes up on the screws, and he's flipped over! Knocked over! And Aquatic Disaster, well, I guess he's gonna take the win. Maximus has no way of getting up, and Aquatic Disaster takes the win.
Finally! It took us that long for Aquatic Disaster to finally work, as he finally picks up 3 points, although I don't really think it's going to be enough for him to make it to the Desperado tournament, unless he could get another knockout win against Aquatic Disaster and Rusty loses. Then we'll see which way the wind blows for him. In any cases, we have Aquatic Disaster in the blue and Rusty in the red. Rusty so far in third place with 5 points, and Aquatic Disaster with nothing. So, let's get ready. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Let the bot battle begin. Rusty hammering away, and Afterburner with the weapon up to speed does a nice hit to the front of Rusty, as Rusty trying to see if they can win this fight again. They managed to beat Aquatic Disaster by chucking him out of the arena. How will he do against Afterburner is the question. Will Rusty do the same thing, or will he just let Afterburner die? Or will Afterburner pull off something and actually get a win? Well, who knows? That's why this fight is happening. Anyways, Rusty trying to land a good shot. There we go. That's a good hit by Afterburner as he hits the wall for some reason. Rusty try to move around, try to maneuver around Afterburner as Rusty, I don't know what he's doing right now, just hoggling the corner back there. And there goes a side guard off of Rusty because of course. There goes the dome! The dome! Rusty is unprotected! Okay, I'll never make a joke like that ever again. Who's winning the pushing match? Oh, that was an aggressive hit by the pulverizer in the corner of your eye. Afterburner trying to go after Rusty. He's pushing back Afterburner to the corner. And I guess we know who wins the pushing match. It's Rusty. I think Afterburner is stuck. Yeah. Oh. Well, Afterburner, it was a good robot. It gave us some good laughs in the New Blood tournament. However, it all comes to a close as Rusty takes 3 points.
Well, this heat is so far looking to be the best so far out of all of them. Currently, Rusty completes all his fights with 8 points, so now it depends on who wins this fight. We have Scorcher so far with 8 points, and Maximus with 5. It all comes down to whoever wins this, and I guess our main event coming up later on with Aquatic Disaster and Afterburner. Anyways, let's get stuck in. 3, 2, 1... activate.
Let the bot battle begin. Scorcher up to speed, and I guess Maximus is reduced to a push bot now. Well, how will it push Scorcher? Short answer, it won't. It doesn't even have any steam and ground game, as I mentioned like 50 times this heat. Anyway, Scorcher hoisting up Maximus and trying to do a hammer saw hit. There we go, there we go. The hammer saw actually works now, people. You can thank me later. Anyway, Scorcher, I guess they're trying to put Maximus into the corner or something. Oh, they're using the out of the arena zone. They're using the out of the arena. Sorry, I'm getting way too excited. If you don't know, that is a new out of the arena zone, where any robot who's unlucky enough to get through there, well, they're gonna die. And well, I guess Maximus is gonna go down with it. Scorcher get another good win. What a fight.
Now we're on to supposedly the main event, which at this point nobody really cares about. I call it Imposter Syndrome. We have Aquatic Disaster with 3 points and Afterburner with no points. Scorcher and Rusty are confirmed for the bracket, so it all depends if Aquatic Disaster could get 3 points in order to go to the third place Desperado tournament, or if Afterburner could finally win something. Although it counts for him and Aquatic Disaster both being out. But let's find out. 3, 2, 1, action.
Let the bot battle begin. 2 robots of similar designs. Aquatic Disaster versus Afterburner. I'm going to get both of them confused, so bear with me here. Afterburner trying to land a good hit on Aquatic Disaster with that new gray quadruple spinner, as it looks like Afterburner is getting stuck on the screws. Is it going to go out, or can it get free? It doesn't look like it here. It looks like Aquatic Disaster is going to get an easy 3 points. This year's been disappointing for Afterburner, to say the least. Well, Aquatic Disaster, well, they're going to take the win.
And well, here we are. Scorcher with 11 points. much better than the previous seasons, and Rusty with 8 points, and Aquatic Disaster going to the third place Desperado tournament with 6 points, leaving Maximus and Afterburner out of here. I was kind of expecting Afterburner to do well, and same with Aquatic Disaster, but with Rusty and Scorcher, like, actually being decent competitors, and even being really good in Series 3, they now decided to finally come full circle in this series. Well, that'll do for this heat. As next heat, we got some major carnage gonna happen, as we have Sergeant Tankshell, Manta Ray, Wild Wings, Disarray, and the return of the King of Kinetic Energy, Tombstone. Well, we'll see you in the next heat. This is Bonzel28, signing out.